All right, so now let's do student registration, and I'm going to save name, name, age, email, and country, and one more field I think I need to add, that is about student major. All right, so before that we did sign up, and for the sign up we have only three fields, that was name, email, and password, and we look at the three data types for the MySQL database. So we have varchar, integer, and the third one was the date time. All right, so for this form we going to have one more data type, that is about age, and age MySQL save age in ymd, and the data type is actually date. All right, so let me show the structure of the database, and we have id, that is again 4 bytes, integer, name, that is varchar 100, and the age will be date. Okay, so now we need to save date in a format ymnd, right, year, month, and day. And email, we already familiar with this data type, and the country, and the major. Okay, so one thing I like to show you, that we have this form and I only have three countries, and you must be thinking, so this is problematic for some reason, that how can I get all the countries, and do I need to create a new table inside the database? The one option is to create a table, right? And you can easily get SQL query, as actually you can get data, actually MySQL uh, insert data for uh, countries and GitHub. Okay, you will get from GitHub, and this you will find something online, that you don't need to manually enter these records. Okay, so that was MySQL script for. All right, let's look at this one. Yes, we have this data. You just need to copy this one. So this is the insert query. You simply, let's say I selected all the records, and I just need to copy this one. I need to go to SQL, and I need to paste it here, and it will create a new table including these cities as well. But let's say we have these countries, and I don't think so I need to save this one. And now I'm going to take all the countries and put that countries inside HTML as an options. Okay, so that will be countries as, that will be options, HTML, and GitHub. All right, and you will get all the countries. Okay, so here we go. So I got all the countries, the select options, and I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to select the last country that we have, and go to my HTML, and I'm going to paste these. So by default I have three countries that I showed you before. Now I'm going to save these all countries as an option. All right, I just copied and pasted. And let's have a look. Let me save this one, and let me refresh, and you got all the countries that we have. Okay, and now I'm going to create one more list. So we have, the name is country because we can access this element using name, so that's fine. So we have name. All right, and that is a label. And now I need to create one more field, actually, that is about label. That would be label. Let me look at the syntax. That will be label for. All right, so that label is for, I'm going to save major, and that will be major. All right, and I need options. No, first I need select as an element, select, then I need name, that will be major. I'm not going to do any form validation here, but if you're going to do form validation for using JavaScript, then you also need an ID. All right, because we can access elements using JavaScript using these IDs. All right, so that will be major. All right, the same name, and then we need options. Let's say I have one option is about law, and this, I'm just trying to show you how we can save different options. different measures using a drop down. Okay, so that option will be option that will be value, option value, because this value I'm going to save this in database, that will be law. And this value, not value form, so value equal be, let's say this is computer science, and that will be just CS. I'm going to save this information in database. All right, so now let's refresh this one, and I got this one. And let's also give class that we already have for other elements, and the class will be select. So it should look like the other elements that we have for this form. So that now that's form we have. And let me break this as well, and I just try to move this one to the next line. All right, and we are not doing any sign up. We also need to change this is to, so we only need to change this one. So maybe we can use register. And all right, so we have all the fields. Now I don't need any form validation. Now you're familiar with the form validation using JavaScript. Let's remove this one. We don't need this form registration. I'm going to write server-side programming language only. All right, and I'm going to just copy the first check that we need, that we did for the sign up, and that page was sign up, right? And I'm going to just copy this one. If, and let me open PHP tags, and if there is server request and the request method is post, I'm going to save this information inside the database. Before that, I also need to include the connection file here. That will be config.php, and the query is equal to insert into, and the name of the column is student std records. All right, into std records, and I'm going to use these columns. Yes, I'm not doing it. Name, age, email. That will be name, age, email, and what else? Country and major. Country and major. IDs auto increment, that you don't need to save that one. Okay, and we also not have ID inside the form. All right, and that actually is primary key, that will be auto increment. You don't need to save that one. All right, and that's going to be values. The first one single quotes, double quotes, dot dot, $sign post. The first one will be name, and the second one will be age, and we need to convert age into YMD. Why? Because if you look at this form, let me refresh, it's MDY. All right, when I post this value it will be MDY, but I need to convert into YMD, and I'm going to use the method that is single quote. Let me write the method that is a date method, dot dot dot, and that will be date, and I need pattern Y, M, and D, and the second I'm going to convert this date that user will post, that will be $sign post age. All right, and then the next value. Okay, so this is the first one, let me break this one here. This is the second one, let me break this one here, and the third one will be, all right, so name, age, then a double dot $sign post, that will be email separated with comma, single dot, and that will be $post country, and I'm going to break again this one, single quote, double quote, dot, $post, $post, and that going to be major. All right, so this is the query that we have, and let me move this above, and also this double quote is for this opening here and the closing is here. All right, just let's just to confirm the query before we execute. That will be an echo, and I didn't execute right now, so I'm just going to confirm my values first. All right, and let's say we have my name and my age, and then let's say this is my email as a student, and let's say the country, and I'm going to have CS. All right, so we have insert into nested record. Name is fine. Look at the age, it's now converted into YMD, but something is wrong. It's taking the current actually date. We need to see what I have posted from here. Something is wrong. YMD, and I think I also need to convert strto time first. This method is used to convert this date into the format that we need. I think that we have an extra one. Let me save this one. All right, now let's refresh. It should be May 16, 1990. Again, something is wrong. Let me check. 05/16/1990. My email. Let's see, any country, law. Again, something is wrong. It's not taking the right input. Okay, date YMD. Let me check. Age. Oh, I'm sorry. I think this one is wrong. That will be type is date, ID is age. I'm actually posting the wrong value, and I'm using that age there. Okay, that was not $post age. It was before, it was $post date. All right, now just let's refresh. Let's see now. I think I need to refresh because I changed an HTML. When you change the HTML, then you need to refresh. Okay, 05/16/1990. Let's say this is the email that we have. Any country, law. Yes, now it's fine. 16 May 1990. All right, so we just converted date into the right format that we need to save this inside the MySQL database. All right, now so we have the query, and I just need to execute this query. That will be with an object that is MySQL, that will be query, and I need to give as an argument that is the query that we have above, and the final one is if we execute the query successfully. I'm just going to copy the same thing that I did before. Oh, I didn't do anything here. So okay, so that will be if MySQL query, this one is equal to 3 equal sign equal to true, then the message will be, let's say, $message equal to registration successful. All right, and I'm going to show this message, let's see here. Okay, I again need to open PHP tags, and I'm going to put one check if there is a message, because if query is successful, then there will be a message. otherwise there will not be any message. And I'm going to use, if there is $message, then echo the message. Okay, and let's put some HTML as well so it looks nice. That will be, I'm going to use p tag paragraph dot, again double quotes, going to close this p tag. Also style is equal to, let's use single quotes, and color, let's say green. All right, so at least it show successful message with green message. Okay, let's try and run this one. All right, so registration successful. All right, now let's look at the records inside the database. Yes, we have this record, and actually I have inserted twice. So you need to do one validation check, that is if record already exists there, then you can generate an error that this record is already there. You need to define a one function that that function will take an email, it compare email with with all the records we have in this MySQL database, this table, and if that email is already there, return true or false. Okay, if it is true, then you can say that email is already exists, you cannot insert the same record one more time, otherwise you can insert. Okay, so now we have these records, and let me add one more record. So we have sign up and we also have student records, and we did registration, and we have, now I need to show records here. All right, and we already did sign up, and we need to do login first, and few more checks that I need to explain, that only authorized user can access this page, only authorized user can access this page. When you log into system, then I need to hide this button. If it's not login, then we can show the sign up button, otherwise you need to hide this one, and also need to show this. There are a lot of checks I need to put, but now let's now, so we have student registration, and let's show student records now. All right, so now we have we done registration and also the sign up. Now let's show students. All right, and this is the page that we have, and we have ID, name, email. Okay, so when we doing this when we need to show records, we always need to find the patterns inside an HTML, because you see this is the row, this is the row. We have actually two rows. Let's say you have 10 rows, and let's say you have 10 rows inside MySQL database, and you need to show all of them in this page. Then you need to find patterns there where you need to put this loop actually. All right, and we already familiar with the while loop and also with the for loop. I'm going to use while loop, but I can also use for each loop as well. All right, so now let's look at the pattern. Okay, so this is the first row we have. Okay, this is the second row we have, and these rows will repeat. Let's say I need to add one more record manually. I will copy this one, I paste this one after this one here. Okay, and you will see there will be 3 rows. So that's mean I found the pattern. These rows actually repeating inside an HTML. I'm going to delete these manual that I manually entered. This one left with only one row. Okay, I left with only one row, and I'm going to put loop here. Okay, so that will be, again I need to open PHP tags, and now let me first I again need connection, that will be include, because these records will come from database and we need connection with the database, and include config dot, and then I will write my query, that will be select static from std records order by id descending, the last row will be first, and then $SQL, that will be $MySQLi that object we have. I will execute the query, and that is the query that we have, and then I'm going to use a while loop, while, because we have more than one record inside the database, that while, and I'm going to use $rows as a reference, and $SQL fetch these, fetch as a soak associative array, return me as an associative array. All right, and all right, so we have this one. Let me, now I need to move this HTML inside here, because I need to run this loop to show all these records. One way is that you use an echo as a PHP format, double string, because I like to use as a string, then double quotes, and again use double quotes here, double quotes here, and to make it statement. That will be problematic at some point, because sometime we have single quotes inside, like here we have double quotes, I need to put double quotes outside, then there will be a problem because we need single quote inside. That is a problematic. I'm going to use, so this will be an HTML that we have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close my PHP here. Okay, so PHP start from here to here, then we have HTML inside, and I'm going to start PHP here again. Okay, there is a space, so this is a PHP here, this one is a PHP here. Okay, and your HTML will be inside, but it will now be a part of that loop because we can embed PHP inside an HTML, right? So that's the idea. Now I'm going to use PHP tag here again, because I need to show ID. That will be rows of ID. The first one I'm going to show the IDs, and now I can copy this one, and I'm going to show name. What else? I name, email, and that will be email. Okay, and then I need to show country, that will be country, and we have two buttons. Let's make, instead of button, use links, and href, that attribute is missing, we need to provide that attribute, and let's use this one. All right, now let me refresh. It should show two records we have. Okay, so it's showing something. That's mean the it's showing something, that's why we have these two rows, but it's not showing records. Something is wrong. All right, now let's try to understand. MySQL query fetch soak, and let's try a print r method. Do we have records? Print r $rows. Okay, yes, we have the rows, so that's mean we have the data, but oh yes, I got there. Okay, I'm not using actually echo, so we showing but not showing. Actually, I just use variables. Now it will display the data. Okay, so that's the data we have. All right, now okay, so we got this line that I'm going to remove style, that will be text decoration, that will be none. Okay, I want to remove this line that we have. Okay, so that line gone, and I'm going to copy the same code here, this one here. All right, so everything's fine now. So we have student registration, and we also have shown student records using a while loop, and we also have a login, sign up, and we didn't do login that we need to do, and we also need to do some authorization. Okay, so before that, let's try to delete this one, and for deleting I'm going to use I will remain on the same page, that will be records.php I will remain on the same page, and did delete id, that will be equal to, I'm going to use PHP tags again here, and that will be echo, because I need to delete this record using primary key that uniquely identify that record. Okay, that will be rows of id. All right, now let me check for the delete. Oh, actually I put this one on a wrong link. I need to move this one to this link. Okay, I'm not doing addition, I'm deleting this one. So look at this one, look at here. Okay, so we have did is 1 and did 2. So that's mean we got the id that uniquely identified these records. Okay, so you see this one, look at this link. So 2 is uniquely identified this record, and 1 is uniquely identified this record. Okay, and now I'm going to delete this one, and so that's mean now I'm using a get method. This is get method, and this did is a variable that we put inside this URL, uniform resource locator, and using this variable we can get this variable using $get, and that will give this value. All right, and then I will delete this one. So now I'm going to write a query to delete that one, and let's write this query. Let's first move this configuration file on top of this page, because I need connection with database, and I'm going to just move this one here, and we can write even here that code, and that will be if is set, if is set, that will be $get, and that name of the variable did that we use here. Okay, that one here, this is the variable. That is again a user defined variable, you can select whatever you like. All right, so I use did. That's mean just giving me a hint that I'm going to delete this one. All right, and let me just show you this value, and $get, select this one, echo. Okay, I'm just using echo. All right, so that's meaning now it's 1 on the very top. We have this one, and let's say if I try to delete this one, you will get 2. Okay, so that's mean this is the variable and this is the value that we have. And now I need to write only query, right? That will be query is equal to, let's change this to delete query delete, and that will be delete from std records where id is equal to, I always use single quote, double quotes, dot, and $get, that will be did. All right, and then I need to execute the query using the object we have MySQL query, and also put a check inside here. If MySQL query, and also use the query d that we have is equal to 3 times strict comparison with the data types. Then we have a message that will be records deleted successfully. All right, and we have the same variable here. So this one is actually showing, so this variable we need to show this variable. Where do I want to show this one? Let's say after this database records, I like to show this one after this one, and that will be, I need to put a PHP tags here, closing tags, and just use again I need a check, because otherwise there will be a warning. It will say we don't have undefined variable $message. Okay, so that will be again if set, if that variable is set, if it has some value, then $message, then simply display the message. You can now use paragraph tags and also style sheeting. whatever the color or the background you like. Okay, so now let me run this one. Okay, so now something is wrong. Okay, let me delete this one. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Let me check. We don't have any error here. Okay, get id delete from st records where id, this one, mysql query is equal to true. Can I move this one outside and see if it is working first? What we did there, mysql query, everything is fine. Let me trace error where id, let me check line by line. Now I need to trace error actually, and that one will be okay. The query is fine. Delete from where id is equal to 2. Let's execute this one. Do we have the record? Yes, we have. Is something wrong? Yes. Okay, the query is fine. All right. There is a typo error. That one will be the object was wrong. Okay, that will mysqli. All right, so now we need just remove this echo message, that we don't need this one, and let's refresh. Yes, now records deleted successfully. Let me delete this one also. There is also a confirm message, you can also use that one. Now let me enter one more record. I like to show you one thing, that 169090 admin@gmail.com. These are again dummy emails. This is my country, and let's say this one registration. Usually now I have a green color here, but you can use that color, green or whatever the color you like, for when we delete the records. Okay, fair. Why it's showing two records? I have inserted just one. Why it's running? Let me do one more time and just to confirm. Am I executing? Let's say this is dummy 05 169090 dummy. That one. Now it should be one more record. Okay, it's showing two records, so that means query is executed 2 times. Now let's trace this error. Okay. Actually I'm executing this query 2 times. Instead of running this one here, you need to comment this one. Okay, because it executed here as first entry, and this is doing the second entry. Okay, you just need to execute one time. Now let's refresh, and so now we have, let's confirm again, 4 records, and this one will be, let's say JSON 05 169090 JSON gmail.com. He's from Angola and law. Okay, now let's see. Yes, now one time. You got that? Okay, just to remember, you just need to execute query one time, not 2 times. All right, so everything's fine, and I need to show you one thing, that is we need a confirmation message. Okay, before we delete this one, and that confirm on click html delete. It's just a confirm message, that will be this one actually, on click return. Okay, I'm going to copy this one and this is the event, JavaScript event. Okay, that will be on click return confirm. Are you sure you want to delete this one? If you press OK, that will be return true. If you press cancel, that will be return false, that you won't be able to delete that one. All right, let me show you actually. So we have these records. Let me delete one dummy. Okay, now we have confirmation. Okay, that gone. And let me delete this one also. That one also gone. All right. All right, so now let's log in. So we have now almost everything. We have student registration, student records, login, sign up, but now we need to do a lot of validation or authorization checks actually, right? One thing I like to mention, that anybody can access this page and can enter records. Anybody can see these records inside my database, because it's right now it's public, right? Because I'm not using any authorization. And what I'm gonna do is that the first thing is to, let's first do sign in. All right, and I'm going to write code for the sign in, and then I will put a lot of checks at different on different pages, so that authorized user can log in, and also authorized user can enter records, and authorized user can see the records. Okay, and we have the login page here. All right, so we have email and password, and I'm going to write code here. Let me copy this one here. That will be, so this is record. This line I need, instead of writing again, I'm going to write this one here. We have the connection, and that will be $ query is equal to select static from sign up. The table name is sign up. Let me check. Yes, it's sign up. Email and password. All right, select static from sign up, where email is equal to single quote, double quotes, dot dot, $ post, whatever I post, that will be email, and both needs to be true, and password is equal to single quote, double quote, dot dot, $post, that will be password. And I need MD5 here as well, because the password inside database is in MD5 format. Okay, query is now fine, and then $SQL is equal to, we need to execute the query MySQL query, that will be $query. And what else I need? Yes, now I'm going to do two more things. So once we execute this query, that's mean if we have this record inside the database, then there will be a one row. Okay, and I also need to maintain a session. So I'm going to use one check, that is if this query is successful, that if $SQL num rows greater than 0. Okay, let's just echo first that this is true. If we find this row, then true. Okay, just to confirm one thing, and then I will show you one thing what I'm gonna do. The first thing is, the email is my name @gmail.com, admin. I think admin, no, I think we don't have admin. Let's change this one. I'm not sure with the password. That is admin, and I'm going to use MD5 to convert back into, okay, everything is fine. Admin. Okay, it's not showing anything. Do we have anything? Let me look at the source code. I like to see true somewhere. No, something is wrong. All right, and that will be MySQL query. Forget include connection. We need connection. Okay, because I'm trying to access database records. Config.php. Okay, let me close this one. I think we don't need. And now let's refresh. Yes, now I got true. So that's mean we got that records from the database. Okay, so we are here. If we get the records, then I'm going to declare a variable row, and I'm going to get a full full row, and I will access that full row and assign it to this $sign row variable because I need to make a session. Okay, and I'm going to say instead of opening and closing session for multiple files, you can do is you can simply go to your configuration file. This is the configuration file that we have, and just start session here. Okay, it because we included this file almost all the pages, and that session that we need to start will be now part of all those pages where we included this file. Okay, and I was here login, so I'm going to use a fetch soak. So when this query is true, and of course the number of rows will be greater than 0, I will fetch that row, and I'm going to create session variables because I need to maintain session. That will be, this is a user defined variable, that will be user ID, that will be equal to $row, and that will be equal to ID which is inside the database. Okay, that ID name is, that ID name came from here, this ID. Okay, because I fetch this complete row as a fetch soak and assign to this variable that we have here, this variable. And now I'm going to create a session variables. These are user defined, these names are user defined. Okay, user ID, then I'm also going to save name, and that will be $row, and that name is from the database name. Okay, I just need these two, and then I'm going to redirect header location, that will be, I think it's in double quotes, single quotes, location, and I'm going to redirect this page to records.php. Okay, let me refresh, and it's okay. Now something is wrong. 319 login.php, and I think header location method is wrong. That one is header location php, and let me check header location. I think this is fine. Location records.php. Okay, now again I need to find error, and error is something, yes, I missed that semicolon. That's an error. Okay, because it's not a complete statement. And now let's log in with the credentials we have, admin. It should be redirected to this page. Yes, now everything is working fine. All right, so now let me show you one thing actually that is also important, that I like to see these two variables, have we set this session or not, and that will be in this page, or maybe just go to the configuration file and just write print method is used to print array method is used to print arrays in PHP. $ session. Okay, whatever inside session, just show me. Okay, I like to confirm one thing, that do we have the session? Yes, you see this on the top, user ID is 3. Yes, user ID is 3, and name is my name. Yes, where is name? Yes, there is a name. Okay, and we use email and password already. All right, everything is fine. Now I can comment this one. I don't need that one, and I will go to the navigation page. As you see here, we use logging as. Now you can use that variable that we have, php echo $ session, and that will be $name semicolon, and this one, and you will see my name will appear inside my navigation. You see this one, now login as this one. All right, now I need to do few more things. I also need a logout page, that I'm going to write a logout page, logout.php, and that will be logout. Okay, when I click on logout, I actually need to destroy the session that we just created. Okay, and that page is very simple. Let me actually access this folder inside Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to write one more page, that will be logout.php, and php I need to start the session start. All right, and then when I click on this one, I need to session destroy. All right, that's the method to destroy the session that we created. And then again, I need to redirect to the to the login page. Okay, location semicolon, and that is index.php. Okay, it's it's login.php. All right, now refresh this one and let's log out. Okay, so log out, something is again wrong here. Okay, that typo, session start. Okay, now you see I have destroyed the session that we created, and you see we don't have my name here. That's mean now we don't have any variable in the session, but it's still showing login as. That we actually need to remove. If there is a session, then we need to show this link, and if there is a session, then we need to show this logout button, because before that we don't need to show that one. Okay, now let's put some authorization check first. First check is to, because we now have maintained the session, we now have login, sign up. I just want to authorized user can see this registration form, authorized user can see these records, and let's put these checks to those pages that I just mentioned. And I'm going to records this one, and we have database here, and I'm going to write a check maybe here. Yes, and that check is if set $session, and the variable name is user ID, right? What variable we use? Yes, user ID. If we have the session, then we can do something, we can see that page. Otherwise you need to redirect to login.php page, but this check is opposite. This is saying if there is a session, then redirect. No, if we do not have the session, then redirect. Okay, now if I click on this page, it will take me to, I think I put redirect check here. Now you see it redirect me to to the login page. Let me change this heading, that is confusing, and that is actually here, login. It's not a registration. Okay, now you see it has redirected to me the login page. If I click on this one, you cannot see now, only authorized user can see that one. And now I need the same check where to student registration, and that page is index, and I'm going to put that check. Let's put here. Okay, before that I can see that page. Now it will redirect again to home, to login page. But now let's log in, and that is, if I log in, then I can see that pages. So that's mean now we have authorization, and that password is admin. Okay, so yes, I can see that page. Now I can see that page as well. Okay, all right, so now we have authorization, and also you see I can also see this name appear as here. I'm going to use same checks few more times because I need to go to the navigation. I can only, so this logout button should only appear when there is a session, otherwise we don't need to show this one, right? I'm going to use PHP tags here, and I'm going to paste it here. If it's set, if it is not set, then you need to show, right? You don't need to show, this is the, so that's mean if it is set, then show this button. Okay, and that will be inside. And again, going to use the same technique, close PHP tags here, open PHP tags here. These are very useful trick that I learned when I was working for industry. Okay, and you will see that logout button will be there. It is there because I am already logged in, but when I log out, it will disappear from the navigation. Let me try to log out. Yes, that button is gone. Okay, and I also need to hide this one, login as. Okay, only I can show this one when I am logged in. I'm going to put the same check here, and I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to paste the same check here. Now you will see login as will also disappear. Okay, now let's log in, and those both will come. Okay, now let me write gmail.com admin. You see, now we both have login as this one, we have the logout button. All right, you also need to hide this one when you are logging. You also need to hide this one. We don't need this one as well here. That will be when there is a session. Okay, when there is a session, you already log in, that's mean I need to hide that one also here. Maybe you can design a navigation in such a way that you can put all these three. Actually, the navigation is fine, everything is fine. Instead of writing these three different checks, why not move these all links inside here, and now we don't need these conditions. Okay, because they are next to each other. Why I'm writing the same condition again and again? Okay, now, oh wow, it's showing login. Actually it's showing login. No, if I think that condition we need to do a different condition here. Okay, because when there is a session, then it's showing. We need an opposite. If there is not a session, then you need to show. Okay, that will be outside, those two will be inside. Okay, and if that is outside, then the condition will be different for this guy, and that will be, let me copy this one here. If we don't have a session, then we need to show that one. Okay, Now we don't have login button because we already log in. And sign up, yes, I think we also need to hide sign up, because when we don't have session we only need to show that one. Let's refresh. Now when I log out, both button will appear. Okay, login and sign up, and also that login has also gone. All right, one more thing, that we have student registration, we have student records, now we have authorization. Only authorization user can access. Let me log in one more time and show you one thing, and that is admin. Okay, everything's working fine. And look at this one, student registration form. Okay, let me show you the database for this one, and this is the student records. The only thing missing here is that we don't know who enters this record. We do not have any session to maintain that one, because maybe some unauthorized user can enter records, because we also need to maintain that session, that who enters this record. Okay, and maybe at some point we need that one, that you enter this record, why did you enter this record. Okay, so that's mean we need one more column here, that will be after major. I'm going to change this table with one more column, that will be who added this record, and I'm going to say this one. And now we have this who added, and I need to do one more change, that will be, I need to go to index page. This is the student registration, and I'm going to change this query to who added. Okay, and where is my query? Here, the last after major. I also need to single quotes, double quotes, dot dot, dollar sign, not dollar sign post, dollar sign session, because this variable will be inside the session. Dollar sign session, because inside session we maintain that variable, and that will be user ID. Okay, now let's see one more registration. Okay, so I am already logged in, and I'm going to add one more record, that will be, let's say the name is Jason. Again, Jason is my favorite name. Do we have Jason? No, we already have Jason. Let's enter record with my last name, 05/16/1990, and admin@gmail.com, country. Let's try to enter correct record, and my major is CS. Okay, registration successful. All right, now let's see. Before that we have 00. Now we have these 3 here. Now I know who entered this record. I'm going to use a join to know that who is this guy with the ID 3, and that query will be join. We need to do a join, but to look at in a simple way is that if you go to sign up table, that 3 is that guy who entered this record, that is this with these credentials. Okay, and that guy came to this system on 1st of April. All right, now your assignment is actually about that we have this student records. Okay, we have these student records, then you need one more thing, one more column actually is important, that will be, just go to structure, that who added, and that will be who, that will be loss updated. Why it's not okay? I need to add one more column, and that will be loss updated, and that will be date time, that who updated this record, and the last one will be, so you can also maintain a session that added this record. Oh sorry, I enter a wrong column. This column should not be here. It is inside student records, and that will be, need to go to the structure, need to add one more column, loss updated. Okay, that would be date time. That is actually your assignment, date time. Then when this record was updated last time, and if you look at this one, we by default we don't have anything. So who added when it was last updated, but you can also maintain who updated. Okay, that going to be a very it will be a full-fledged system, but let's stop at this point. Now let me give you one more hint for your assignment, that one way is to use the same page to update this record, and you need actually a value field. That is one hint. And the second hint is about that uh, you let me go to record page. This, where is records page? Here. And you need to, you can use the same form, okay, or you can create a new form. There is a problem because let's say in my website we have 100 pages where we need to do where we need to enter records in the site database. That means we have 100 pages and then we need to create 100 edit pages. That is problematic. You can use the same form, but for this assignment you can create a new form. That will be edit edit records .php, and just copy these tags from here. Okay, paste it here, and we don't need okay, everything will be fine. That will be fine. Instead of writing insert query, now you need to write update query. Okay, that will be here. And but the problem is we need to get this id, and that will you will get using the same way that we use for deleting records. And that will be, I'm going to copy this one from here to here. Okay, and I'm going to paste this one here. Okay, so I need to go to edit records.php, and then I'm going to eid, that will be edit id, and that's the id we have. And let me remove these codes. Now you will see something interesting. These are records, and look at this one, edit. So we have the id. Okay, if I click this one, it will be eid8. So I move to that page. Okay, so that's when everything is working fine. Now everything working fine because you have this variable here on the top. Okay, eid. So that's mean that is $get eid. You need to do one more thing. Let me also help you here. That will be, I need that query. Actually you can write query here. That will be $e query, that will be equal to select static from std records where id is equal to single quotes, double quotes, dot $, $get id, and everything's fine. Then I need to execute query. SQL is equal to $MySQLi, and that will be query $e query. All right, and I will get $row. Let's say e row, that will be e row, edit row. First I need to fetch the data, I need to show data, and then I will update. Okay, I like to show this one to you that what you trying to update. This is the previous record and this is the new that you like to update. Okay, and that will be $SQL fetch sock. Okay, fetch underscore sock, and that will be an arrow button. And let me show printer, because that will be an array. Okay, printer $sign arrow, and I will conclude this part just to show this one. And I like to show you. Okay, it's not showing anything. Select static from std records. I executed the query. SQL fetch soak row. Let me check this one. Echo. Always use echo. Okay, the id is not there. Okay. Oh, it's not id, it's eid, not just an id, because the variable is eid. Okay. Okay, so I trace that and I got the data. Okay, that record is already inside the database. Okay, now I can show you one more hint, and I'm going to stop. That will be, I need to show this one here. Value is equal to PHP echo $sign row that we have, and then will be name. Okay, let's see. Okay, we don't get the name here. The name should be appear here. Okay, name. Again forget echo. Okay, so that's the name that is already inside the database. And let's say you change it to Mustafa. Let's say this one. That will be updated. Okay, let me hide this one. This print all method. No, not this one. This one actually. Now refresh. Yes, this is inside the database for this eid8. Okay, and let's say this is JSON. Now it will be JSON. Now you need to do the rest of the part, that get the age, email, country, law, and then when you hit register, it will update the record, and then you can redirect back to this page that we have updated successfully with the message. That's your assignment. All right.